All right, so we've got Papa Dave Lawson and Grandma Kim.
Uh-huh.
This video is mostly for the grandkids to watch one day, so that'd be Freya and Ryker and Summer and Chase to get to know a little bit more about their grandparents years from now, when you guys might not be around. But that's like 2 to 3 decades, 3 decades.
3 decades sounds really good to me.
Yeah. So, anyways, this is Dane recording it, but we're just gonna start with some questions about kind of where they grew up and how their life began. So, first question I have for you guys today is, what was your childhood home like? Where did you grow up? What was your neighborhood like? Your yard? Just kind of how was your living situation as you remember it from childhood?
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
You.
I'll go. Okay, I grew up in Parkland, Washington, and it was right on the golf course at PLU, and kind of a whole neighborhood of professors and their kids, and they all lived there. And we'd go out and play on the on the golf course, even though we weren't supposed to. We'd hide in the Scotch broom and do all sorts of shenanigans. My favorite one was giving a guy a hole-in-one. When he was teeing off, I saw him with my mom's binoculars because she was in Audubon Society. So I saw this guy. These guys were golfing, and there was a gal with them. So there was a lady and a couple guys, and when she hit her ball, it got down the hill, but it wasn't in the hole. So I scurried out there and threw the ball into the hole.
And they can't see where the ball goes when they tee off.
Can't see it, and then you go back into the Scotch broom and hide and wait. And they're looking like crazy for this ball. They can't find it, and they're like freaking out. Next thing you know, somebody hits their ball in and then pulls their ball out and looks and goes, "Oh my gosh, your ball's in the hole. You got a hole-in-one." And this lady was going bananas. She was so excited. And all the people with her, so that was pretty cool.
That's fun.
So that was one little shenanigans. Other things on the golf course there, we set up a lemonade stand, and then we also found all the balls in the Scotch broom that they had lost and put them in a bucket. So they'd come over and buy some lemonade from us, and then I'd say, "Do you want to buy a ball?" And they said, "I feel like I'm buying my ball back." I said, "Well, you should have gone to the Scotch broom and found it yourself."
Yeah, that's a valuable,
Little sassy,
valuable service.
sassy me that I was. Anyway, the neighborhood was really cool though, because everybody behind our house, they were all professors and their kids, and we knew them. And the people across the street, the Westrings, showed up, and that was a big name down there in sports, and they lived across the street too.
What about you, Dad? Your house or homes?
Let's see, my parents. Remember my first house. My parents rented homes. Their first four that they lived in. We lived in Albany, Oregon, for a while, right off the freeway there, and there's just normal middle class homes in most cases. You know, back then middle class was. It was. I think most people had their parents worked blue collar, and you were middle class at that time. My parents did that. So Dad worked in the paper mill, and he worked in the slaughterhouse, and he worked as a taxi cab driver. But we lived in Albany, Oregon, from my grades kindergarten through first grade. Then partway through into that summer, we moved up to Pasco, Washington. We lived in another middle class blue collar neighborhood with lots of kids running around. For second and third and fourth grade at Captain Grade Elementary there. Then we moved out into the farmland a little bit later on and did fifth and sixth grade. But what I remember, the homes were all very much similar. Mom and Dad finally bought a home when I was in seventh grade and in Pasco. But we could always walk to school up until our grade schools all the time, all the way up through sixth grade. And then in seventh grade, we finally had to take a bus to go into town and things like that. But pretty normal place to live in Pasco.
How many square feet for your four siblings?
1,300 square feet.
1,300 square feet.
Yeah.
For 6 people.
6 people, 3 bedrooms, bath and a half, and kitchen and laundry room were combined. and we just had one family room. There wasn't a living room and a family room. It was just the family room.
Yeah.
Pretty square boxes. They're rectangle homes.
What is your earliest happy memory, if you have one? And it doesn't have to be a specific time or place. It can just be a feeling or something that you remember at your youngest possible age. And you can go first, Mom.
Okay, so youngest memory, happy memory. I felt like we were happy most of the time. I mean, Carrie and I were the two siblings in the house, and parents were awesome. We'd go to church, and we liked going to the little church things, and going up to the mountain sometimes. Getting Christmas trees when I was little was a big deal. When we were older, I was like, oh man, how did we do that when we were little kids? Well, it was our parents doing everything. So, I don't know. We liked to go to the ocean. Uncle Jim was up at Mount Rainier, so we'd go up there every once in a while.
Yeah.
So, that was good.
But just always remember growing up feeling like, I feel safe in this house. I feel loved in this house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Loved in this house and loved with the people that we know, our parents' friends and their kids.
Dad.
I'm going to give you a couple real quick. I can remember being the Timber Carnival Marshal in Albany, Oregon when I was in first grade. I got decked out in the loggers' red and white checkered shirt and got to ride in the back of a car and wave to the crowd in the parade, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
My dad actually put me in a boxing match against a third grader when I was in first grade. And
That's a happy memory.
Yeah, because I got a hot dog and a Coke after getting my butt kicked. So that was kind of cool. And then the best ones I remember, just my cousins, my mom's side of the family. We would always go for Thanksgiving and Christmas up to my grandma's house in Petey, Oregon. And we would build forts and run around in the fields. And we were always, first and second grade. And I can remember my first Tonka G.I. Joe truck and bulldozer we got. Those were pretty cool gifts. And we had a good Christmas and things like that. So that's pretty cool.
What are some of your favorite memories with your siblings growing up? That could include cousins too. Not just as a kid, if you want. You can talk about memories with your siblings now or in the recent past too. So start with you, Dad.
I think things that come to mind for me are playing sports with my brothers, particularly. Not even in our early years, Jeff and I played a lot on the same teams together, from baseball and football and things like that. Later on in life, Greg and I and Jeff played basketball a lot together and softball together. We had some great teams out there, and we had some good times. It's fun watching our sister grow up in terms of scouting with her campfire. And we were in Boy Scouts, so we got to do a lot of things together. But Mom and Dad always taking us fishing, camping, hunting. It was just who we were, and it was fun to be around each other from that time frame. So, living in a small house, you got used to each other really quick.
Yeah. How about you, Mom? Any favorite Carrie memories?
Well, Carrie and Alana, and sometimes Randy, we'd allow him to play with us when we were at Grandma Van Slegren's farm. So that was always fun until Alana threw Randy down into the food trough where the cows were eating.
Wow.
I didn't get in trouble for that one though. So.
You'd drive the tractor around, wouldn't you?
We drove, yeah.
Or the truck.
We drove the truck around.
Yeah.
Which also, so unsafe.
Someone was on the floor operating the clutch.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm driving. Someone's down there. Who was it?
Alana.
It's probably Alana. Yeah, I'm surprised she wasn't driving actually. But yeah, she's like, and I'm just driving around. Don't hit the cows. Don't hit the cows. Okay.
Any science experiments with electricity?
Yeah, somewhere along the line, that was a very bad idea. It's a fence that had electricity so that the cows, if they hit it, they wouldn't go through it. So I decided that it would be fun to test the conductivity. So, you take a stick and you touch it and you see if you get shocked. Whatever, fill in the blank, grab something, see if it conducts electricity. And every once in a while somebody would get hurt, but it wasn't bad enough to go to the hospital or even get a big Band-Aid. So
How did you get to school, and what were your favorite classes or subjects?
We lived on Shoeley Lake Road, and we walked to school. And it was, now that I look back at it, it was an unusually long walk versus people that lived close to the school. But we thought it was great. We're just walking along Shoeley Lake Road all the way down, get up to the school. And my classes that I liked the best, well, of course, I loved my math classes the best. So, and that kind of stuck with me all the way through.
How about you, Dad?
We walked all the way up through elementary school all the time. Junior high, we started taking the bus because we lived about 2.5 to 3 miles from the school. High school was the same thing. We lived about 4 miles from school. And then when I got to high school, when I finally got my driver's license, I drove a Rambler that didn't have reverse. And so we had to park in the right spot, or otherwise we had to get out, put it in neutral, and push ourselves out of the parking spot to go forward. And then, like as a senior, my dad gave me a GMC pickup. So I was a pretty bad guy on campus with my lime green pickup truck in high school, my senior year.
Nice.
Pretty cool. Favorite classes? I think history and math. Those were my favorite. World problems was another good class for me. We had some great English teachers at Pasco High that prepared us to go to college. It was pretty good. And we look back on it. We had a great opportunity there to be successful.
What were your favorite hobbies or sports or activities when you were growing up?
It was perpetual in our family. During the seasons, we always played baseball, basketball, and football whenever that season was in place for the boys here. Jeff and I did particularly. Greg had a little accident once. His brothers threw him off the bed and broke his arm in 3 places. And his arm started growing, and so that prevented him from playing football, but he played baseball a little bit, basketball, and track, so we always hung out together there. Other hobbies were sports, other than sports, were hunting and fishing. We did a lot of that growing up in the Tri-Cities around the Columbia Snake River, out in the agricultural lands around there, farmlands. So it was always nice to do. And then scouting was the other thing. We did a lot of camping, backpacking, hiking, and things like that as Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts and Weebelo kids. So, and our dad, my grandfather, your grandfather kids, was instrumental in making sure that we got the camping experiences with being a leader.
So with like everything you learned in Boy Scouts, like about responsibility and everything, when you went hunting, you would never like fire your shotguns at each other, right?
We only had one accident like that one afternoon. One day, my brother Jeff shot a pheasant along a grape vineyard, and the pheasant was just winged, so it got up and started running. And our brother Jeff was upset that brother Greg didn't tell him which direction the pheasant ran off to. And so he pouted a little bit. We're walking along a canyon later on. Greg is down toward the bottom of the canyon. I'm on the right side of it, and Jeff's on the left side of the canyon. And Jeff finally gets fed up with it, losing his pheasant. He just shoots at us. He's about 60 yards away, so we both cover up and just turn our backs to the shotgun, and we feel some pellets hitting around us, and we got a little ticked off at him, so we both stood up and fired back at Jeff, and Jeff got hit in his jeans, along the lining of his jeans, and he started yelping a little bit that we were hurting him. But it was well deserved, and everyone survived, and we didn't go home and tell Mom and Dad about that occasion.
Until, like, 20 years later.
Oh yeah, we would not tell Mom and Dad that.
How about you, Mom? Any favorite hobbies, sports, or activities?
Well, my favorite was basketball, probably because of my dad. I loved playing basketball. I was actually better at track, so I ended up doing that junior high and high school. And did relay teams. And I got to do the shot put a couple of times just because they needed points, and they only had one person doing the shot put, so I did that. Didn't want to do the discus. I was afraid I might hit somebody, so...
We had a hobby once that I remember that weren't you some kind of queen or something at school in PLU? Was something on your head?
Oh, the Lucia Bride. Yeah.
So she got in
to
college.
I got voted as the Lucia Bride, so they have to.
It's a holiday thing.
It's a holiday thing, and you have
they
your
put candles on her head.
Candles.
Nice.
And yeah.
She's very pretty too.
Yeah. That's probably why you liked me, because I wore candles in my hair.
What kind of chores did you have to do growing up?
Early ones I remember still were always picking up our toys, making sure our rooms were in order. Later on, before dishwashers were actually in the household, Jeff and I would stand up on the on chairs. One would wash, one would rinse, and then we'd have Mom or myself would be on the other end again, drying and putting things away. I think the big ones later on in life was always mowing the yard, watering our areas of the yard, making sure that they were watered all the time, washing Dad's truck and cars. We did those types of things, weeding, and then we also did for money. We actually mowed yards around the neighborhood a number of times over the years to make some money for ourselves.
Yeah, I didn't have a ton of chores to do, but yeah, I cleaned a lot, like the bathrooms and, maybe a little bit of vacuuming or sweeping. In the backyard, we had a big area that we had some chairs set out and then some screens so you could kind of sit there and hang out. So if you were cleaning that, it was kind of a big chunk. It's as big as this room that you're cleaning. So it wasn't that bad, though. It wasn't like difficult work.
Yeah.
So.
But you both had responsibilities in
Yeah.
your house. Your parents
And I
expected
kind of
you to
remember
contribute.
singing while we were doing it, too.
Well, a lot of my chores I considered watching my brothers and sisters. Being the oldest,
Yeah.
Mom would be working at the golf course and Dad would be on his shift, and there'd be 2 or 3 hours where I was in charge of all the kids to make sure we didn't kill each other, or that everyone was safe when Mom and Dad got home.
Or break Greg's arm.
Well, that was different, but that was Mom and Dad were home that night. But
Nice.
I did that a lot.
What did you want to do for a career when you were a kid, and did that change at all to what you actually ended up doing?
Okay. I wanted to be a teacher, and partially because my dad was a teacher, my mom was a teacher, and I thought, teaching seems like a kind of a good thing for me. So then as I got older, it was even more important because I really started liking math, and so then I got to actually teach math.
So you got to do what
That
you
was
wanted to do all
That's
along.
all I wanted to do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think most people have that.
Yeah.
What about you, Dad?
I think I wanted to be a ball player. I thought I was going to make money someplace on TV, playing football, basketball, or baseball. Not realizing that getting to college and playing sports, football and basketball, maybe 5% of the kids get to do that, and that the next level is there's only like 600 or 1,000 people going to play that sport. Then you're realizing that maybe a coaching would be good. And then I got to that point where I got married, and that coaching opportunity probably wasn't there in terms of the dollars and cents at that time. So I had to fall back on my education and becoming a business person, which I really didn't think I would ever be. I thought I was going to be a blue-collar factory worker at one time, but all of a sudden I got an accounting degree, business degree with accounting emphasis, economics minor, and somehow a paper company hired me to do some work for them, and my career took off in human resources.
Yeah. And where have you worked in human resources in your life?
In human resources, I've worked at the Tacoma Craft Mill. I've worked at a bag packaging division for St. Regis down in California, in Los Angeles. It was really commerce, and I can't think of the other town right now, Vernon, California. Then I got transferred to Dallas, Texas, and then we got moved to Bloomington, Indiana. Then we came back out here to Seattle with a packaging company. Then I went on to work for Raleigh Cycle Company of America for 1 year. Then they wanted to move us.
Free bikes.
They wanted to move us to London, England, and then they offered us a job over. Because I said I wouldn't move to London, they said we could move to San Diego and work for a company in Washington Inventory Service. And then I said no to that. That was too far away. And they said New York would be a good place to be True Value Hardware, Ace Hardware HR guy. I said no. So I ended up with PacMed Clinics in Seattle for 11 years. Then went on to St. Joseph's Franciscan Health System for 11 years. And then Columbia Bank for another 10 years.
Did you have a favorite holiday growing up, or any special traditions surrounding that given holiday?
Yeah, my favorite holiday is always Christmas time. So whether it's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, all of that. Decorating the house, love to do that. We'd go up to Mount Rainier to get a tree. We wouldn't just go get one off of a lot or go cut one down. We'd go hiking up there to get it. So that was the big deal. To put all your winter clothes on, get your tree, bring it down. leave it in the garage for a while to get all the stuff off of it, bring it in the house and decorate. And then make all of the goodies. We were big about the goodies. And Oma loved anything that she had from her Dutch recipe stuff. Really good Kringle stuff. Like you probably had the same thing. The rosettes were good too.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
cookies. And whatever.
Favorite holidays were Christmas and Thanksgiving in our family. Always getting together with our cousins on my mom's side a lot of times. I think the fun part about that was that we were always together, and mom and dad made it kind of special for each kid. They really found something that each kid really wanted that year, which they could afford, which sometimes is tough. But they went out of their way to make it special for all of us.
What was your relationship like with your parents, and what did you admire about them, and are there any things that you took from their parenting style that you wanted to do when you became a parent?
So my parents, Bob, Ross, and Susie, they always made us toe the mark, but they were super loving. They were also all about getting us to go to church and to do community service stuff. Well, and they taught us really good values. And you'd go to school and see other kids who didn't have the discipline from the parents or the love from the parents. And so it was nice to see my family and go, okay, I want to be like you guys, not those guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes
Totally.
sense, but
That makes perfect sense. What about you, Dad?
Pam and Chuck Lawson. Quite a, what do you call it?
juxtaposition.
Juxtaposition is a good way to say it. Dad was really good in the sense that he worked hard all the time. He was honest. He didn't cheat. He didn't steal. He didn't do things like that. You could tell that he wasn't a drinker. He might have a beer once in a while, but that was something that he didn't bring that home ever. He didn't hit us or anything like that. So those are all good things. Dad was good about community service. He helped out in terms of being a scoutmaster, a baseball coach, reserve sheriff in our community and things like that. So that gave us a feeling that you got to give back. So he did a lot of that. And then Mom, just solid. She was always there for us. I mean, she's the one that we could snuggle with. Dad, we didn't snuggle with. Dad was there to teach us to be tough. Mom was there to teach us to be soft.
What might kids today in the 2020s miss out on that you got to do when you were a kid?
I'm going to give you a couple examples. One is the neighborhoods were such that we were all so close and the parents knew all the kids that we'd be at the park playing till dark, baseball or football. We'd go camping. My parents let us go camping and hiking at age 12 and 13 by ourselves. We'd be overnight for 2 nights on a weekend, and my parents would pick us up at the trailhead afterwards. We had compasses and things. I don't think kids today know how to read a compass and how to read a map to get over a big mountainside range or things like that. And we had opportunities to do that a number of times.
And your parents picked you up and you didn't have a phone to call them.
Nor a gun.
Yeah, they just said, we'll be here at about this time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our job was to be there. We could figure out how many miles we could walk a day and things like that. And that was pretty cool. But just the number of times we got to play with kids in our neighborhood till late hours. We knew that my dad would step out on the porch and whistle and it was time to get back to the house. And so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He could whistle loud.
It still does.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Mom?
Okay, repeat the exact question.
What do you think you got to do as a kid that kids now might miss out on? How was life different for a kid back then?
Okay. Well, one thing is felt really safe in the neighborhood that we lived in. So we would go house to house. You go visit friends. You go walk down the road, down Tule Lake Road, and not worry about, creepy people or people stopping to grab kids or whatever. It just felt super safe. We could do whatever we wanted. That's when we started, packing our lunches and doing our little trips and pretending we were spies. And it was all make-believe stuff, but having a good time. not worrying about people, bad people, just thinking we're all safe.
Yeah.
Which, anymore I would think you'd be naive to just go out there and expect that everybody's going to be nice.
And I feel like there's just a huge technology difference.
Oh,
like kids
huge.
living on their phones or their iPads or their computers now, which they have benefits and you can look up information, but like I feel like kids now are too absorbed in that sort of stuff.
Well, even when I was teaching, kids would pull their phones out and look stuff up, and like that's not what you're here for. You're supposed to learn it. You're not supposed to.
I think we had opportunities to be much more in community with each other, and not be individuals. That we knew that everything was about the group, and looking out after the group. Meaning all of us. The parents at other houses would, Jeff got in trouble. My brother Jeff got in trouble one time for playing in the street, and the dad came out and paddled his ass and kicked him off the street. And my dad said, "Don't do that again, huh, Jeff?"
Right.
And it was okay for to get Jeff out of the street like that because they were looking out for each other.
You watch for each other.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've both had a lot of jobs over your life, but what was your very first job and what were you paid?
I was picking beans and strawberries in Tangent, Oregon with my cousins, and we got probably 10 cents or 15 cents a flat for the strawberries. So a flat was about this big, and it had 8 pints in each side, so 16 pints were made up of a flat, and we would get 10 cents for filling that up.
That many strawberries, if I were to buy them at the store right now, a flat, that'd be like $60 or $70.
And I got paid 10 cents for picking one of those.
And how about you, Mom?
I was smart and picked cucumbers. And I would take 2 buckets with me. And you'd go down the row and you'd pick the cucumber, put it in, and then you keep moving and they start settling. So you would have a full bucket if you just filled it up, but if you went like this and kept getting more and more and more, you'd have more when you'd weigh it in, you'd get paid more. So it was kind of a mathematical scheme to make more money.
You figured it out. That's just efficiency.
Cucumbers minus, instead of doing berries, which I would eat.
True. Yeah.
It was a terrible thing to pick.
Seems like a lot more effort to pick the berries. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and then you eat them, and then it's all.
And did we say how much did you get paid? Do you know what a bucket was worth?
I don't remember at all.
Okay.
I have no idea, no recollection of how much money it was.
Yeah.
I just knew I had money.
Sure.
Because I didn't have money before that. How did we meet? Well,
Yeah.
we met at PLU, Pacific Lutheran University. I thought he was pretty cute. And he had another friend who was pretty cute. It was Dave and Dave, number 42 and 24. And they were buddies. I thought they were, he was the best one. He had kind of a little Beatles haircut going on, super blonde.
Pretty studly.
Pretty studly. No, yeah. Pretty strong. Kind of funny.
Did you meet in a class, or did you meet through sports, or just around campus? All of the above?
I know. Can I tell the story?
Yeah, go.
We passed each other in front of Tinglestead Hall one time, and I said hi to her, and she had that little Dutch nose like this, and she walked right by without saying a word to me when I said hi to her.
I didn't hear him.
This is my story.
Okay.
And then later on, she fell in love with my other roommate, Steve Kingma, and she was dating him because he was Dutch and I was just Norwegian, and Irish too, and English. But anyway, she dated him, but he was a player. And then when he was going home his senior year, and she was a freshman dating him, she looked at me down at the end of the hallway when she was helping him load up his car, and she took my cowboy hat. And I had my cowboy hat. She says, "Hey, maybe we should get together this summer." As I was leaving to go back to work at the paper mill after my sophomore year at PLU. And so then we start playing basketball the following year, and I take her to the Puyallup Fair. Dave Lashua and I take Kim and Sarah to the fair. We buy them some scones, wear our Letterman jacket around, she's kind of like hanging on to me a little bit, and I'm going, oh, she's getting a little clingy here. And then so after that, the fair begins in September. We're going to get ready for basketball on October 15th, and we're making plans to go to Hawaii. And your mom borrows money from me, Dane. Your mom borrows about, I think it was $210. And I made her pay it back because she was going to buy airfare to go over and watch the game. But her real intentions were, the first night we're over in Hawaii, we're on Waikiki Beach. She's with me, and we're stopping, and we have to be back in our bed check at 11 p.m. that night. The coaches make there. And my parents are over there. They came over to watch the game in Hawaii. And Kim, we're stopping at a stoplight, and she looks over to me and says, we should be more than friends. And I'm going, I don't have time for this. I'm here to play basketball.
That's not what he did. He melted like jelly.
And so anyway, I got back to my room at 11:07. The coach says to Dave Lashua and Don Levine, where's Dave Lawson? He's late. Oh, he must be in his parents' room. But no, he was getting Google eyes from this lady right here, messing up his career for a couple of weeks while he was starting, that he went to like 6th and 7th man for a couple of weeks.
Oh, was it worth it?
Absolutely well worth it.
Yeah. There you go.
What was your first impression of Dad, Mom? Like the first time you kind of met him, like what did you think about him? Was there like a quality or something you noticed about him that you were attracted to?
Well, I knew that he was smart. He was going into business. Both of the Daves were, it was kind of like the Twin Towers. They both were kind of on the same role. But he had more of a personality than the other Dave. The other Dave was just kind of quiet. And he would actually go out on a limb and, talk to people and be social. So, I don't know. He was a good-looking guy. Seemed like a person that would just be a good person to be with. So.
And what about you, Dad?
Well, darn it, she was pretty, for one. She was, what would you say? A little bit of a Christian for me, which I kind of liked, but scared me a little bit. She went to church all the time. So, once I started to make the decision to date her, I had to start going to church a lot more. That was good. She's smart, too. Kim was very smart. I mean, and she could write, and she took care of people. You could tell she came from good stock.
Yeah.
And I could milk cows if we needed to.
You never know when you're going to have to milk a cow. What was the transition like from the time you were a married couple to the time you had your first kid, from just the two of you to now we have Danica in the mix? And what do you remember of those early years? What was the hardest part about that? What did you enjoy the most about that?
Well, first of all, I think that we were a good family unit. So having a child in the mix was great. I mean, but we'd have to kind of tag team on who was in charge of whom. And I don't remember it being difficult at all. I just think it was, I don't know, I thought it was just the normal thing that you have your kids.
Just the next step you take.
The next step up is now we got to teach you how to be like him. Got to teach Danica to be like me. Whatever,
That was a big change for a second. Just having a wife for a while. We got to see the world a little bit. Kim and I did without kids.
Right.
We got to go and travel a little bit around the United States, which was interesting and fun. And we had a lot of experiences there in terms of Cincinnati and Chicago and Dallas and Florida and home here in Colorado. We did lots of things together. And then when we had Danica and Dane, it kind of was very joyful for us in the sense that we brought this little person home the first time, and I'm going, my God, they're tiny. It's pretty scary. And saying, are we gonna mess this up? You think about that as a parent. We both remember the nights you guys both, Dane and Danica, slept through the night the first time. We rushed over to see if you were alive. Did you get up last night? Did you get up last night?
That's exactly what I said.
Did you get up? And would sprint over there because we didn't hear no crying that morning and things like that. Funny things we remember in my mind of raising the kids was Danica didn't like to sleep in her own room by herself. She'd always be at the foot of our bed, even all the way up until age 10
She'd come sneaking in there.
and sleep at the foot of the
Lay
bed.
on the floor sometimes.
And Dane would say, we had these monitors, and Dane would always say, Mommy, Daddy, I'm awake.
I wake up.
I wake up now.
I wake up.
And he wouldn't get out of his bed, but he could get out of his bed if he wanted to, but he wouldn't get out. So we thought that was kind of cute. Bath time was always fun with me and the kids. Playing baseball with Dane and Danica in the yard, playing basketball with you guys was a hoot for me. And I know you guys would wait for me to get home from work, which was quite a drive from Seattle all the time. But we had a good time, I thought. Piggyback rides up the stairs. Oh my God, that killed me sometimes. Things like that.
Try it now.
I couldn't do that.
Do you guys have one specific memory with each kid? Like something specific with me and something specific with Danica that you can think of?
You gonna go?
No, go ahead.
I remember just little things. One of the Dane, I think, I had a great time with him at a Boy Scout camp. He and I had a tent up in Mount Vernon area one time, and you did a lot of things that day: archery, fishing, shooting. I thought that was pretty cool for you and I to be together like that. I think the times when the Cub Scouts, when you had the Pinewood Derby races, watching you run around and being who you are. I think the hardest one I had for you was when you were senior year 11 in basketball. When you got cut your senior year, that was hard for me and you that day. But it still is meaningful to us because it doesn't define somebody when you have a setback. You just get better at doing something else and doing it better yet. Danica, I just remember her being kind of timid at basketball up until like 6th grade or 7th grade. Then one day her light bulb turned on down at River Ridge High School, and she hit 6 shots in the game. And all of a sudden, she could just see that she felt more comfortable in her own body and things like that, and wasn't afraid to battle a little bit. But it sure was a long time. She was a little bit soft, but always waiting for someone else to be the star, and not taking on some things there. You guys were just great kids. You guys were easy for us. I couldn't ask for 2 kids that you could have raised and trust. That was the big thing. We could trust you guys to do what you needed to do and do the right things. That was important to me. And I felt good that I, as a parent, that my kids were those types of individuals, that they had integrity, that they were good team players, that they were honest and straightforward, and they took their studies hard. You guys, we didn't help you study. You guys did your own studying all the time. You wanted to be better. So that was, something was right. So I don't know if I did it or Mom did it or the gene pool did it somewhere down the line, but that was a gift to us that you guys wanted to be successful.
Mom, do you have any specific memories with Danica or any specific memories with me that stand out?
Well, I was thinking about Danica with the ballet because she was really shy, which I thought was kind of weird. And she got up on the stage, and next
That
thing...
was with me.
Well, I was there too.
No, it was just me and her the first time.
The first time was?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was on the stage? You remember what was on the stage? It was a motorcycle. And she wanted to go down to the stage after the performance was over.
And here she was super shy, which was, I mean, now forget it. She's not even close. And I was like, you were just like, yeah, I'm just taking
you were
things
never
on.
afraid.
No.
You tried anything.
You did. You just jump in, both feet in, ready to roll.
Oh, his favorite one for me. I got to go back on this one. We took you to Disneyland time one day.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And it had the what was it? Bear Jamboree area.
We lost him.
And we lost you a little bit. You went about 50 yards ahead of us, and we come up on to find where you're at, and you're high stepping it with these 3 guys playing fiddles, and you are just dancing around, and you're just having the best time of your life. Country Bear Jamboree. That was pretty cool.
You probably don't remember that, do you?
I don't. I can think of another time I got lost from you guys, though, and Mom tried to lure me out with a pink cookie.
Was that at Nordstrom's?
But I did not come out.
I know.
Because I was nowhere to be found. I had crossed the store. I remember that pretty vividly for some reason. And I'll just throw another one in. I just remember doing all the science fair projects with you, Mom. So, like, there was the Why Mom Says Wash Your Hands project, and we grew bacteria colonies in Petri dishes, and I won that year. And then I won the following year for the bottle rocket one, about trying to find the best way to do that bottle rocket experiment.
Mm-hmm.
But I always remember you know, teaching me and encouraging,
Yep.
you know, that kind of,
I was a
you
big
know,
science nerd too.
the scientific method and all that. And then you got to teach me for a year at Waller Road when I got bumped up to your school.
Yep.
I mean, you were just the math resource teacher, so I'd pop in for classes and stuff. But how did you show love to your children, to Danica and I?
I think time, energy, confidence, and respectfulness too. I wasn't probably the perfect dad, but I think I was there 90% of the time, maybe 98% of the time. I'm sure I had a meltdown a couple times in you guys' careers. But the one thing I always did, I don't think I wanted to embarrass you publicly. I never did those type of things. I always wanted to put you up. I didn't overcoach you. If I wasn't coaching you, I was watching the coach and keeping my mouth shut. Those types of things. But I thought gave you guys good lessons in terms of demonstrating how to behave in public and things like that. But I think taking you to Sunday school, taking you to church, it was important in terms of how you show love, and how I treat your mom, too. I hope that's a lesson too. I wasn't always perfect, but you saw that it was a safe home and it was a loving home. I thought that you would try to carry those types of attributes onto your family too.
How about you, Mom? How did you show love to your children, to us?
I agree with the church piece. You know, taking you to church. I loved the singing part where you just had to get up and just sing because somebody was not there for this. Do you remember that?
I think so.
Or you had to. There's some kid was missing.
Yeah.
And we needed somebody to be singing the solo, and you just got up there like nobody's business and just sang away. And I'm like, oh.
Oh,
that's
exactly.
my
How you
kid.
show love to your kids.
And so encouraging. I think, I think about kids that I taught that just didn't have support from their parents or families. So I always wanted to be that person that would be lifting up my kids. I mean, if you need to be knocked down, you get knocked down, but lifting you up and telling you what you're doing right and how can we grow from that and get better and better and better. And then now with your kids, you can be that person.
What are some sayings or things that you said to us repeatedly?
It's not goodness to be better than the worst. That was one of Paca's favorites.
Okay.
I want to be better.
Set the bar high, basically.
Yep, set the bar high.
Yeah.
Don't set the bar low. Everybody can hit the low.
If you ain't first, you're last.
It's Ricky Bobby.
I like your version a little better. What about you, Dad?
I think I might have said to you guys, I trust you to do the right thing a number of times. I think I also shared with you, you're not hurt, get up.
Except the time that I got a black eye and I was hurt quite badly.
And also, my most famous line is, if you don't do what I say, I'll let you live. Or I think it was, I'll let you live.
I asked what you were going to
What?
give me because I was weeding the yard.
And I said, I'll let you live.
It's like, right on. Sounds good.
It's a good trade.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'll go do some weeding and I'll be alive.
I'll let you live.
And don't embarrass the family. I think I said that to you guys a number of times. Don't embarrass the family.
Yeah. What are some special qualities or words you would use to describe Danica and then me?
Okay. Danica has a lot of tenacity. Sometimes a little too much tenacity, but she's a go-getter. You have a soft side to you, but you also have the strong side. So it's kind of fun to see you go from, I'm really strong on this, or you're pissing me off, or, you need some care. Not you. You're caring for somebody else. You're a very caring young man versus, some kids are not Nice. And you're a good kid.
I'm
not a
34.
You're a kid to me.
Yeah. And Dad?
I think you and Danica have a lot of the same attributes. You just carry them in different ways. Sometimes you're both athletic. You're both intelligent. You're both community minded. You're both giving back to the community in the roles you're doing in your vocations now today. You're there for your friends. You're there for your family if needed. And I think you care. Yeah, I can see how you guys are. Those attributes you have, you're instilling those in your own kids today in terms of being self-sufficient. You don't have to. You got to accept help at times, but you got to give your energy to be the best that you want to be too. You can't just sit back on your laurels and think it's going to happen for you. You got to do the work, and you guys both do the work every time I see you, and you continue to do that, and that's what makes you successful. But I think you also understand that we live in a community too, and it's not just about us. It's about those around us too, and making this a better world. And each of you have those attributes too. And so, I can't say one thing about the two of you that are different on the fact that your X and Y chromosome. That's about the only thing I can think of.
Was there ever a point in your marriage that you thought, this is way too difficult, I don't see how I can do this? Like, did you ever contemplate divorce or not having kids in the first place? Or was there ever a time with young kids in the house where you're like, this is too freaking hard, I can't do it? So what was that like, and how did you get through that?
I feel like every family has that problem, that there's going to be some tough times, but you just have to count on, okay, my spouse is going to support me, I'm going to support him, unless he does something really stupid, but for the most part, I feel like once you make that commitment, he made a commitment, I made a commitment, we take it seriously, and we make sure that we keep our family together, keep it positive, keep it going. If something tough happens, which we've had tough things happen, you gather it all back together, figure it out, and don't give up.
Yeah. I can say this, we never said it was too tough having kids. That never ever crossed our minds ever. To have kids. Divorce we never used the word divorce in front of each other. But we did a couple of times where we might have said something to one another that wasn't as correct as it could have been in a loving way.
Like we didn't like each other for 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, we've had moments like that.
Sure.
But we survived that. And now looking back, I wouldn't change a thing. I love this lady.
Yeah. Kind of like you a little bit too.
Do you have any favorite family vacation spots, places you went when you were a kid, or that you took us when we were kids, or both?
I think you know the answer to those.
I do.
But I'll do three of them.
Let's hear it.
I think Wallowa Lake was always one favorite spot for the kids.
Top.
And then Lake Chelan I think Lake Chelan is probably tops for Dane and Danica, and Wallowa Lake was probably second.
Mm-hmm.
I think they enjoyed a winter wonderland one time when we took the Lashwas and O'Briens one time, and down to Mount Hood. That was probably a good time for you guys. And then I'm trying to think. We did Sun Lakes too one time. You and I and Danica. And I remember Dane and Danica were out in the middle of the lake and these old canyons, and they're jumping off the boat, and it's like 2 inches. Remember how deep it was right there? We're on top of the water. It was a cliff out there in the underwater.
There's a shelf, yeah.
Yeah.
So you jump.
No, they stood on the boat and jumped, and they jumped off right there, and it was really deep right where they jumped off. You could see the shelf go down.
Yeah.
But that was part of that, the old day with the Ice Age and things like that. You could see that came through there. But I think just our camping experiences a little bit with you guys was kind of fun. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure the Disneyland trips, you probably got 4 or 5 of those out of us. And I don't know if you enjoyed those.
Well, I mean, those are great. But I always remember Lake Chelan a lot. I remember Wallowa Lake more because always the whole family would come to Wallowa Lake.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah.
Except everybody hated me when we had to have dress-up days.
Oh, they liked
I think the kids liked it. I think the parents were wondering why they had to pack so much stuff. But it was fun.
Yeah.
Do you have any other vacation spots other than those, Mom, that you can think of?
As a family, though,
Yeah, or even as a kid growing up. I know that Dad went to Wallowa as a kid, but are there any that you went to?
We
as
went
a kid?
to Mount Rainier a lot. You know,
Yeah.
Uncle Jim was working up there. We'd go up there. Attempted skiing someplace up there. I was never a skier. So, see, Olives, of course, Lake Chelan.
Williams Lake.
Oh yeah, Williams
You
Lake.
guys liked the
Yeah.
Williams Lake a couple times too.
That was
We
great.
did that at least twice or 3 times a year
Yeah, that was fun.
because you had abdominal pain one time.
Had to be
Domino.
rushed to Sacred
Domino.
Heart
Yeah,
for domino pain.
yeah.
Have you told people that at work?
I have told people that I ate too many hot dogs and s'mores.
Yeah, Williams. I think the fishing trips and the hunting trips and the summer vacation at Wallowa and Chelan were probably the fun times. We did it a lot.
Yeah, we did. What are some of the most interesting places you've been to in your lifetime? What do you remember, vividly about those places? It can be in the United States, abroad, whatever. Start with you,
Cool
Dad.
places. Chichen Itza, the Aztec ruins down in Mexico. Pretty cool that Kim and we got to travel down there. Heading over to Italy, we got to sit in the Sistine Chapel by ourselves with about 7 people and look at the ceiling and see the Michelangelo paintings in the wall by ourselves. Pretty cool. We got to have worship service at St. Peter's Cathedral outside of the Sistine Chapel in the very basement where hardly anybody gets to see all the relics of all the popes and things like that. Wow, that was pretty cool. The Colosseum in Italy was neat. I have to say, just the United States, seeing the I'm trying to think of the Yellowstone National Park, Mount Rushmore, the Badlands area, the national parks in Utah, just amazing in terms of seeing the world and nature and things like that. I've been in all the little coves and coveys in Washington, D.C. I've got to see things that most Americans never get to see in terms of the Capitol building, the U.S. Senate, the House of Representatives. I got to eat in special places that only the top legislators got to eat at. The Smithsonian Museum, all the different ones there, incredible. I hate New York City, but there's a few things I can do there that standing in front of the Twin Towers at that fountain, pretty amazing, really.
Yeah, you didn't like New York.
I'm not a New York fan, but there's certain things there.
He said if
I've
the
been,
Russians wanted it, they could have it.
Touching the Liberty Bell, I've been able to do things like that. The U.S. Constitution, seeing that live, just neat things. That you can't take for granted. I got to see the first Model T that came off the Ford line in Detroit. Those types of things, Model T. Anyway,
How about you, Mom? Any specific places that you can't believe you've been to?
I loved going to the Netherlands and got to go with Oma, and we had to go we wanted to go find Grandpa's farm. So we're going all over the place trying to find this darn farm. And we see this farmer out in the field, and we go out to find, one of the people that was with us went out to find this farmer and say, we're trying to find the farm Van Slagren. And he goes, oh, it's right up here. So we went to his house, and then we got to go, he brought us to where Grandma Van Slagren's home was when she was a kid. They let us go inside and see where she used to sleep in this little bunk that was up against a wall, and on the other side were the cows. And the reason for that is the cows would fart at night, and it would get really hot in there, and the heat, you wouldn't smell anything. They couldn't smell it, but it would warm up that other side. That was their heating unit. It was all the cows. So we laughed about that forever.
Yeah.
So then in the meantime, at some point we were driving somewhere, and there was this huge roundabout, And we're trying to drive on this roundabout, and I'm trying to tell Mom to tell me where to get off, and she's trying to read the map, and I'm going around and around and around to get off the circle, and finally get off the circle, and I go, okay, we gotta stop and find out where we are.
Yeah.
So it was this whole big debacle, but we got to where we were going. So
One thing that amazed me that I think about, and I don't think about enough though, we had a chance to move to Mississippi once before we had kids. Corinth, Mississippi,
Corinth.
to work for Kimberly Clark Paper Company. And I went down there and we saw that they still had fountains for black and white people and they had bathrooms for black and white people in 1983. And that really bothered me. Because I had grown up in Tri-Cities and we just thought everybody was a human being. And we all showered and we did things together and played football and things like that.
Basically said,
And I was stunned by that still in 1983. That was really bothered me.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite musician or genre of music that you grew up listening to or that you still listen to? Any favorite musician, any
Classical
favorite lyric?
Classical rock.
Yeah.
I love Aerosmith. I love AC/DC. I love Foreigner. I love the Beatles. I love Boston. I love U2. All these groups. Any of that kind of music I can live. I love Creedence Clearwater Revival. I love Alabama. I love a lot of country western now. My ears aren't as quick as they used to be, so I can hear the words now a little bit easier. But I hate to dance because I'm terrible at it, and I don't think that's ever going to change. But
I made him dance. So.
When I'm golfing, we're playing music all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I remember driving to Lake Chelan, like driving over Blewett Pass through Wenatchee, and we'd always have like 3 CDs on. It'd be the Boston CD, it'd be the CCR CD, or it'd be the Forrest Gump soundtrack, which has both of those artists, I think.
Right.
And,
that's right.
you know, yeah.
Was it bad?
No, it was great.
I think you guys like our music to some degree.
No, it's all great songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oldies are sometimes the best.
What about you, Mom?
Oldies. What?
Do you like all those groups? Do you have any others in particular that like you liked as a kid or still love or?
I know. I'm trying to think. As a kid, what did I mean?
Bon Jovi was a good one.
Yeah.
I liked Boston, and I liked. Well, like you said, CCR.
I think you would listen to more poppy stuff when I was a kid. I would remember.
She liked Michael Jackson.
Yeah, you'd have Michael Jackson, or you had
Yeah.
I remember the Pretty Woman soundtrack or something like that. Would
Yeah.
be playing.
She likes.
Yeah.
We like Styx and Foreigner. We like Styx a lot. We're going to actually go to Styx concert here pretty soon in January.
Yeah.
And then we're going to Kansas. I like Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the other? Journey.
Yeah.
I can do those all day.
Yeah, you play any of those, I know every single word, right?
Yeah.
Those are the kinds that I like.
But you know what?
But they're
We also like Phantom of the Opera.
Oh yeah, that's
We
Yeah.
like stuff like that too.
That's true.
Yeah.
We do like that.
And I like a little bit of Bach and Beethoven.
You do?
You would invite your friends over for gourmet club at
Yes.
our house, and
Yes.
you would always put in a Kenny G saxophone CD.
Well, but that was kind of the background music, so you could
She's
still have
she's
a
a little soft
conversation.
sometimes.
As
A little soft.
ambiance.
That was
Little soft.
ambiance.
Little soft.
You have the nice gourmet dinner. You've got the good music, but you're not going to sing along while you're sitting at the table.
Soft.
And then after a couple glasses of wine, you could go have a cigar on the porch. And
You
go
remember
turn
days
the
like that?
CCR back on.
Yeah, we did a couple times.
Not me. No cigar for me.
I had a couple moments where I was kind of corrupted, but I don't smoke cigars that often.
What would you do if you won $1 billion lottery? Just some exorbitant sum of money where you're like, wow, what do I even do with this? Is there a cause you would give it to, or a trip you would take, or what would you do?
Well, if it's $1 billion, I mean, you've got a lot of ways to slice that. You know,
Sure.
It was just $1,000 being like, oh, can we do this? But when you got $1 billion,
Go for it.
so you start with, okay, what can I give? What organizations do I love the most that I would like to give money to support them? I think I'd start there.
And what are those for you guys?
Well, of course, anything to do with Farm 12 stuff that's going on right now.
And your grandkids probably won't know what Farm 12 is 20 years from now.
That's
Will
why
you
I'll tell
them?
them.
Yeah.
Well, Farm 12 is really it's a
It's more than just Farm 12.
it's a not-for-profit organization that is all about giving kids a great start in life, and particularly those that are from underserved families. Parents could not have the resources maybe to do the job that some parents can do today. But I'm the chair of that board. I've been at for 15 years now of Step by Step in Farm 12, and we're really helping raise up kids, particularly moms, so that they can get a better life. And now we're working on dads too. But if I had the $1 billion today, I would probably give half of that to Step by Step and help that social enterprise model be actually replicated maybe in Spokane and maybe some other places, Pasco or something like that, and help replicate that a little bit more. I would take other money and I would make a trust for my descendants, those of you I'm speaking to now.
Oh boy.
And there would be some caveats with that in terms of you couldn't spend it on yourselves, but you have to do good works in the world today. And you'd have to get together with your cousins and your brothers and sisters and your moms and dads and make some decisions. And some of you would be required to be on board yourself to make decisions about giving away money, because we would have the Lawson Foundation that would be incredible if we had that opportunity. Now, I would probably put about $1 million away for each of my current grandkids and their moms and dads. That's a little bit. They can have that and do their thing. But the big part of this would be for you guys to work together to make this a better world. And it could be in scouting, it could be in mothers, it could be about pets. I don't care. Save the whales, but make a difference in this world, guys. That'd be my expectation of you.
Mm-hmm. Would you get one cool car?
Would I get one cool car?
Would you?
I'd get me a nice
truck.
$100,000 truck.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Drop in the bucket.
A $100,000 truck. That's all I want.
What kind
And
of
mostly give that back.
What kind of car do you think I'd get?
What kind of car would you get?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
And we would travel a little bit.
We
we
travel
would
a lot.
allocate $1 million a year to us to travel.
Yeah. See
There's
get
a
more
lot
the
of
world.
places we
And
have
$1 million
not
a year,
been.
we could that interest on that would be that.
Pays for itself. Pays
Yeah.
for your trips.
Yeah, we would spend because we can't see all those places, but we'll take 5 big trips a year.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places we have.
You know, I'll take a camel ride on the Sahara Desert if I had to, just to get something that said that I had to do it.
Yeah.
Watching the camel.
Yeah. I'll take a hot air balloon ride up to where the Incas lived in whatever that little place is, Machu Picchu.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd take a hot air balloon, and
You could go do his little African.
and I'd get me a
African
hydroplane
trip.
rate. One day I'd borrow someone's hydroplane. And I want to go 110 miles an hour on the river.
So somebody else is driving and you're
No,
just...
I'm going to drive it, but
Oh.
I'm going to borrow his hydroplane because I got the money to do it now.
What significant historical events have you lived through? Like stuff that your grandkids will read about in a history book or whatever they do in history classes in 10 years. What are some events that you've lived through and how did you feel when they were happening?
I'll go.
I know. You're my history buff man.
John F. Kennedy assassination,
That was a big deal.
1963, I think it was. I was in first grade watching that. I remember the funeral with the case on, pulling his case on. The boots were on backwards, and I remember asking my dad, why are the boots on backwards on this horse? And that's about leadership, fallen leader. I remember laying on my back at the hydroplane races on July 20th of 1969 when men landed on the moon. That was huge. That was a big day. And they were talking. They had it on the speakers. We were all listening to that. They shut down the race just for a second and had that on there for us. The Vietnam Era War. I almost had to go if it hadn't stopped. You know, I was like 2 years.
You had relatives.
The draft stopped 2 years before I had to sign up, which was pretty scary back then. Robert Kennedy's assassination, Martin Luther King's assassination. Those were, whoa, what happened? What are people doing here? I think Twin Towers. I mean, you and Danica were sitting on the end of the bed that morning when we watched those towers burning, and I had to explain to you what was happening on 2001 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
Well, you thought it was an accident, and then the next thing you know,
You saw
there's
the other
another
plane.
one
You guys saw
coming
the
in.
second plane hit live. You and Danica did, sitting on the edge of the bed.
Did you remember that?
I remember watching it, but I didn't understand why it was significant.
Oh.
I didn't know where these buildings were. I didn't know that they were holding 3,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize another country is. They have hijacked our planes and they have run them into our two largest buildings. Like
Yeah.
that, the enormity of that did not. It was very abstract to me at that age.
I think. What else in terms of, we did we got some stuff here with Iran and Iraq, but to me that's just bad people just not trying to make a better world right now, and it's really screwed up over there. That people just have so much hatred for each other. Don't understand it myself enough. I know a little bit about the war and why we're doing what we're doing, but that's just beyond me. The tidal wave that hit Tokyo one time was pretty significant in terms of people loss of life. But I'm trying to think of what's good that happened in the world during this time too. I'm trying to think out loud. I'm just thinking, the Seattle Supersonics winning an NBA championship was big to me in 1979. That was huge. I was like, wow. I knew those guys.
And
I played against some of them.
relatively insignificant in the
But
bigger
to me,
picture.
yeah, I got to play against Jack Sigma later on in life. He knocked me out. He ran right over me. But he won a national championship that year. I liked Ronald Reagan. I remember I got to see him once in person. That was pretty cool. Have I met anybody famous?
I don't know. I met J.P. Patches.
He's not famous. He's a clown.
He's literally a clown.
He is.
I was on his show.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, Mom.
I just like to tell you guys one of the things. I worked in a paper mill with your Grandpa Chuck, and that mill was. I would never wish that upon you or any of my grandkids to work in such a situation. It was so dangerous to come out of there with all my arms and legs and eyes and things like that. We had steam valves that were going off all the time. We had hot liquor and smelt coming out of furnaces. I just think I'm so grateful my kids don't have to do that for a living.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that we are thankful for that people are doing those jobs. America wouldn't be what it is if these people didn't know how to do it.
At your current age, with the kids out of the house, me and Danica, what do you like doing the most together as a couple? And what do you most like doing also just by yourself or with friends? What do you do now that you don't have us taking up a lot of your time?
Oh, we like you taking up our time and our grandkids taking up our time.
No, this is about you.
Just us. Okay. So I like spending time with the David, as long as it's not the casino. But I like traveling. We had fun going down to Arizona. We have, now that he's not working full time, we've got the freedom to do fun stuff like that and go to different adventurous places. Okay.
You guys did a big trip from Arizona and then you traveled all the way up to Boise and saw like a bunch of parks.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was an incredible trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It
But
was.
I like the fact that we don't have to have a schedule. I've been living on a schedule since I've had kids and up through retirement about a year ago. And now I get to do, and I can look at my calendar and say, I don't have nothing to do all day. I can just go do whatever I want. And that could be going for a walk here locally.
Golfing.
I like to golf twice a week now. That's important to me. I didn't get to do that before. Mm-hmm. And it's something I can still be competitive at. And as an old guy, I'm still in the top 20% of golfers.
And the people that you golf with are a lot of fun.
No,
there's
good
a
friends.
good group of people. It's not like you just show up and have to go with people you don't know.
No.
It's
But we have that
camaraderie.
And then the community service. I still like helping with Step by Step in Farm 12. Mm-hmm. I still help with the Tacoma Athletic Sports Commission. We're helping with the USO right now in terms of raising money and things like that. So I get to give back a little bit when I want to do that in such a way that it's important to me, but I don't have to feel like I have to do it all the time. It's fun to tell Kim, hey, you want to go for a walk? You want to go have breakfast someplace this morning? but we can also get in the car and go to the Tri-Cities. We can go anywhere we want now, and every day is a week. Every day is a weekend. It's wonderful.
Sounds nice.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
As parents and grandparents, what do you enjoy most about your time that you get to spend with us and with Freya and Ryker and Summer and Chase? What do you enjoy most about that?
I like seeing you as a parent. You know, it's fun to be a grandparent because you can kind of wind them up and send them home. But you with kids is pretty fun. You know, to watch you guys, you know, nurturing our grandbabies. So.
Well, it's fun to watch my two kids, Dane and Danica, raise their own family, and see that they're doing it well. That makes me feel comfortable that I can, I don't have to get involved anymore, which is nice. But the best part about having grandkids is they're developing their own personalities. Every time we see them, they've changed a little bit and they got their own little quirks and how they like to learn things and how they want to do things. But watching them develop and become their own little human beings is so much fun. And every time they speak differently, their speech gets a little bit more, a higher, bigger vocabulary. They start thinking out of the box a little bit. They want to do things themselves. You just smile and know that hopefully they'll have a lot of those attributes that their parents and their grandparents had, that they'll be able to pass that on. But it scares me sometimes in the world we live in that it's not as easy as it was for us that it's going to be for them, and that makes me nervous. That's something I get nervous about.
Yeah, for sure.
But I got the cutest grandkids.
I was going to ask. Yeah. I was going to ask another question, and it's about each kid specifically. Because right now, Freya is 4, Summer's 3, Ryker's 2, Chase is 1.
Yeah.
I mean, you've only known them for a little while, but pick each kid. Let's go in order of age. So what's something that you both find unique or special about each kid? So starting with Freya. Like, as you know her right now.
Oh, my goodness. That girl, she's going to be the president of the United States. She has no fear at all. She'll get up and stand up and do whatever. You've seen her video where she's at the ball game and getting everybody hyped up. And Danica's in the background saying, "Get back in your corner."
I think she's got a soft heart. Freya's got, she doesn't want to see people get hurt or things like that. I always see her reaching out to hug some kid, or when she leaves her classroom, kids come up to give her a hug before she leaves all the time, and they want to say goodbye to Freya. So she must be doing something right in terms of interacting with others. So I think that's pretty special. When I come to Summer, she's got a huge personality, and I think it's a part of both you and Paige. Her vocabulary is incredible for her age at this particular point in time. I think reading the books you guys are reading are making a big difference. She's not afraid of doing something new. And in fact, yesterday, just watching her jump on me and just throwing herself off the couch, knowing that I'm going to catch her, and not knowing if I am going to catch her.
Yeah.
That talks about trust, that she's willing to do that. I think about Ryker. He's the kind that he just loves life right now, and but he's got a soft heart too. I think all my grandkids are going to be soft-hearted, which a little bit is good, but I think they all have that fire that if they see something being done to wrong by somebody, that they'll step in, even if it's dangerous or scary. I think they won't let that go by, and I think their parents have learned how to do that, and that's important to me, that we don't bully or hurt people in this community.
Riker's nurturing towards Chase. Whenever he sees Chase, he wants to just give him like a little side hug, and he'll just be like, Chase, baby, Chase, and just want to take care of him. It's really cute.
Yeah.
And seeing Ryker at the farm, oh my goodness, it's hilarious.
He's just being a boy.
But he's also holding the door open for kids. I'm like, who does that?
These kids are all pretty good about that. I think they have good manners and things like that. They're not embarrassing their parents in public. You guys are doing a good job about that. And that's hard to do at small ages with kids, to get them instilled in terms of being appropriate in public, and not having to be the center of attention all the time. They're pretty good about that. I don't know enough about about Chase yet. Just watching him walk around, he's a danger to himself at this particular age. And but I think he might be the tallest of all of them when we're done. You know, in terms of
He's also kind of a love bug. He's
waving,
yeah.
smiling, pointing.
Yeah, I think it's great. I wish you guys would have more.
I think we're capped out. Two is the perfect amount.
Two hands, 2 kids.
Is there anything specific about each kid or one of the kids that you don't think Dad mentioned, Mom? Anything that you love about Summer or Ryker or Freya specifically, or Chase?
I don't want to clump them all together, but
Right.
they're all so bright and happy. I mean, they're none of them are grumpy Gus's or nobody. They're not trying to outdo anybody. They're just being their small, beautiful self.
I think a big part of that is you guys aren't letting them have technology. All of you guys, meaning you and Danica, these kids aren't living in front of technology
That's
all day.
true too.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of kids that
They'll
sit in
catch
front
up
of
with
the
that.
TV.
They'll have that ability to catch up because they're smart.
Yeah.
But I want them to be kids first.
We're doing like no TV before age 2 and
Yeah.
yeah, no iPads. Some kids already have an iPad.
No, it makes
That
me
age.
crazy.
I don't know.
It makes me crazy.
Danica's kids don't have iPads
No.
or phones or. I think they get to watch Bluey, but they don't watch anything else.
Yeah. It's a good show.
Or maybe what? Huh?
It's a good show.
We like Bluey.
Yeah. I know what Mom's gonna say. Well, sort of. But do you believe that God exists and why?
I absolutely believe that God exists.
Yeah.
And I've seen proof of that, not just in nature but I also seen it when you've been down at your lowest and then see you come back. Okay, I'm gonna cry.
I'll take it from here. You think here's my thing here. I think there's something like 3 billion people in the universe today. 3 billion in our world today.
3?
3
I think
billion.
there's like 7 or 8.
No, I don't think they're that high.
We'll check this later.
Yeah, I think there's like maybe
Billion or million?
billion.
Billion.
I'm going to say 3.1, 3.3, because the United States has only 500 million, 554 or something million. So I'm looking at it. India, you got China, things like that. So I'm going to go with 3 billion. All right, maybe 5. But I know from my science times
Always looking
that the human body is made up of about 3.1 billion chromosomes, genes, all these different things that God has put together. But the one thing he did is that everyone has a different footprint. Your fingerprints are not the same. Of all these human beings out there, nothing is the same. And he did that intentionally to make us each individuals. And he wants us to live in community. And if he hadn't done this, there's no big thing about some big bang. It can't have happened like that. People look at the Bible and they say to myself, the world was made in 7 days. Well, that was made in 7 trillion. Every day was 7 trillion days. It could have been, for all we know, as it moved through that.
I think a lot of the things in the Bible aren't literal.
Yes, and
Right.
people
Correct.
take it literally. They don't think about it that time.
Exactly.
But I really believe back when Jesus was around, we didn't have technology. They couldn't write down everything. But people did talk about what they saw, what they witnessed. And I got to believe that they didn't make all this up over all these eons of decades. Now, if we're looking at 2,000 years or 3,000 years, people didn't make this up. But people wrote some of these things down, and they witnessed different things. And if this all it is just to live on this earth and just become ash and dust and never have nothing happen, I don't believe it. Because I think there's other universes out there just like ours that we don't even know about today. There's got to be. There's other galaxies out there we're not even touched. Our mind is so small in terms of what God is. And God, I don't know exactly who and how, what it looks like, but I believe there's someone out there that helped create this universe. It just didn't come together just like, boom.
Big Bang.
And why did he put all these different animals together to make this world work together? And why does he? I don't know. But I do know that there is a God, and I believe that there's resurrection after life. And I'm not going to change my mind on that one.
What do you find most special about your spouse? And I know that's hard because you spend a lot of time together and you probably like a lot of things about each other. But if you had to boil it down just what do you love most about each other? What would you say?
Are you going first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, first of all, he's a hard worker, but he is kind to everyone. He thinks of other people first. He thinks about, like you're talking about step by step, you're talking about donating money. He wants to get people engaged, wants to get them healthy, wants to get them successful. So it's kind of fun to watch him come up with stuff for people to do.
That's all you like about me?
No, that was
Jeez.
part one.
What's part 2? Tell me part 2.
You're a terrible dancer, but you try.
What's part 3? I like that better.
You think you're tough sometimes. You do, and sometimes you act like an ass. But
I have those attributes too.
you're actually a big softie. And you hate to admit it, but you're kind of a big softie.
Damn it.
But you love that about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good. I'll get that.
And how about you, Dad? What do you...
Your mom is very caring. She goes out of her way to help this family all the time. You have no idea what she did for you and Danica when I had to work back in the day. And she was closer to you guys and I couldn't get home in time. So she always had the house prepared. She looked out of your guys' well-being first. She takes care of this house really good. She's always looking to say, what do we need? She's always trying to help me. She's always trying to help me in the house in terms of, I'll take your dirty dishes from you and something like that. Honey, I can take and put them in the dishwasher, but she's grabbing them so quickly. I just think we've always been a good match together. I like being public with her. I like people to see that's my wife. She's pretty special.
So last question before I let you guys go and before Summer and Chase wake up from their naps and start raising hell. Do you have any last things on your mind that you want to say to your 4 grandkids with the idea in mind that they might be high school, college age adults when they see this video? Any last words of wisdom or anything you want to share with them?
You going first or me?
I can start.
Okay.
Okay. Start?
Yeah.
It's going.
Start. Okay, so I'm talking to my kids, grandkids, and just want to let you know that we are so delighted to have you as our kids. Papa Dave and I love you guys a lot, and we want you to have the best life you can ever have. So things that you need to do. Excuse me. Number 1. Quit crying. No, you quit crying.
Number 1.
Quit crying. Okay.
Number 2.
Oh, so sheesh. Oof. Okay. Number 1, enjoy every stinking moment of the time that you have with your little kids.
You're talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you now. Because I feel like we tried to do that with you guys, and you turned out great. So we want your kids to turn out greater than we are. And why the heck am I crying? I don't know.
This should be a happy part.
It is happy part. I'm not crying.
Happy tears.
I'm not sad.
Okay. Yeah. They need some more advice. Let's go for it.
Advice.
Tell them what they
Don't go to the casino.
Their parents don't. Danica and I don't go to the casino, so they should be good.
Okay, what else? I know you know to treat people the way you want to be treated, and I feel like you do that already. But I want to see all the kids and grandkids at some point in time. They have to realize it's not all about me. It's about other people around you. And surround yourself with good people. You know, if you surround yourself with a bunch of jerks, then you're going to be in the jerk pile.
Great grandpa will come back and kick your butt.
Exactly. I think you need to say your prayers. I think you need to go to church. Not everybody's all about going to church, but you know, we go, and sometimes the sermons are amazing, and sometimes it's like, yeah, okay. But being in community, is that my little girl? Hi. Oh, she's got the.
Come here,
genie.
Summer girl. Come sit on Grandma's lap. Come on. Get in there.
Sit right here and look right at that camera so we can get your pretty face on there. Oh. Do you have the genie? Hello.
So, Dad, same question for you. What do you have to say to your grandkids years from now? Life advice.
I expect you all to be leaders, and that means leading in your community. That means serving on boards. That means serving on nonprofits. That means giving back to the community in terms of dollars. I want you to give your time to your kids. I want you to be coaches. I want you to be role models for your kids. Teach them to be good servants of the Lord. And most of all, love one another and hang out together too. If cousins hang out together, that means we were successful too. So we'd like to have that happen.
Summer, do you like...
And one more thing.
Oh.
Ah.
Put some flowers on my what do you call it? My grave or my
What?
my what do you call it?
What are you going to have?
My niche. I'm gonna have a niche, and I want you guys to change flowers out on it once in a while.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put Donettis.
Donettis. I'll take Donettis too on my niche.
Okay, we got to leave flowers and donuts for Papa Dave one day. Yeah. And
Maybe bring him flowers and donuts while he's
A
still
little Jack
with
Daniels
us.
won't hurt either.
Sure. Hey, Summer.
Not for kids, though.
Papa Dave just said he hopes that you enjoy hanging out with your cousins. Do you like hanging out with Freya and Ryker? Do you think they're pretty cool? Can you take your hand out of your mouth?
You have your hand in your mouth.
Yeah, that's a little much.
Are you eating your hand? Does it taste good? What? It tastes
Your hand
good?
tastes good?
Did you put peanut butter on your hand?
No.
Honey on your hand?
No.
Sugar on your hand?
No.
No.
And nothing on your hand?
You're just eating your skin?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's probably not a great idea.
It's called flesh-eating disease.
No.
Summer, do you have anything you want to say to your grandparents? This is a video that you're going to watch one day when you're a grown-up. Do you want to say anything nice to your grandparents?
What do you want to say to Papa Dave? Do you love Papa Dave?
Do you love Papa Dave? Do you-
Oh, Papa Dave, it's going to be sad.
I'm gonna have $1 billion one day given to me. You better love me.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I heard it. Your dad said I'm gonna get $1 billion, and I have to figure out how to spend it.
Well, girl,
Can I give her a horse bite?
you can give her some good horse bites, I think.
It's a horse bite. Watch out.
All right. Well, that's it. That's all the questions I have for you guys. This was fun. Summer, one day you'll see this and you'll say, why didn't you make me take my hands out of my mouth? But that's okay. All right.
All right.
Your
Love
brother's
you
gonna
guys.
give you a lot of grief over this one. And you can tell him, well, you would have been down there, but you were always taking naps.